the enigmatic waltz of the avoidant attachment style, a dance more intricate than a Viennese ball and as unpredictable as a British weather forecast. Welcome to our exploration of understanding the avoidance push-pull dance and how to stop it. Imagine, if you will, a delicate game of chess, not merely with pieces on a board, but with hearts and souls as the stakes. Here we are, poised at the edge of a story, woven with threads of complexity, rich with the flavor of human emotion and the unending quest for connection. Picture a gentleman named Jonathan, a dashing fellow, as charming as he is elusive. Jonathan has built a life of enviable solitude, fortified by the walls of his own making. He's the quintessential avoidant, a man who values his independence like a rare, vintage wine. He's adept at the art of intimacy, but like a master illusionist, he knows just when to vanish in a puff of smoke, leaving his partner, let's call her Clara, wondering whether it was all a dream. Now Clara, bless her heart, is quite the opposite. She thrives on closeness and connection, her heart a garden that yearns for tending. Jonathan, with his mysterious allure, is like a rare flower she desperately wants to cultivate. Yet, every time she reaches out, he retreats. The classic push-pull dance. It's a tango that can leave even the most earnest heart in a dizzying whirl, searching for balance on a floor that seems to shift with every step. Let us delve into the psyche of our dear Jonathan. As a child, he learned early on that vulnerability was a double-edged sword. Perhaps he grew up in a household where emotions were as scarce as hen's teeth. Or maybe he was taught that self-reliance was the ultimate virtue. Whatever the case, the seeds of avoidance were sown, and they took root, spreading tendrils that wrapped around his heart, whispering promises of safety in solitude. In relationships, Jonathan's modus operandi is a paradox. He desires connection, yet fears the vulnerability it demands. Like a moth to a flame, he is drawn to intimacy but dreads the potential burn. And so, he masters the subtle art of emotional distancing, a step forward, a step back, a carefully choreographed dance that keeps his heart safely at arm's length. Clara, in her pursuit of closeness, inadvertently triggers Jonathan's deeply ingrained defense mechanisms. Her eagerness to connect feels overwhelming, like a tidal wave threatening to engulf his carefully constructed island. As she steps forward, he instinctively steps back, creating a dynamic of pursuit and withdrawal that can leave both partners bewildered and exhausted. But dear friends, all is not lost, for in the heart of every story lies the possibility of transformation. The key to breaking this cycle lies in understanding and empathy, two qualities that, when nurtured, can transform a relationship from a battlefield of misunderstandings to a sanctuary of mutual respect and love. Imagine a scenario where Jonathan, with a newfound awareness, begins to recognize the patterns of his behavior. He starts to question the narrative he has lived by, challenging the belief that vulnerability equals weakness. He learns to communicate his needs and fears, not with the subtlety of a magician, but with the honesty of a storyteller sharing his truth. Clara, on her part, learns to give Jonathan the space he needs, without interpreting his need for distance as a personal rejection. She discovers the art of patience, understanding that his withdrawal is not a reflection of her worth, but a manifestation of his own internal struggle. By allowing him the room to breathe, she creates a safe haven where he can slowly lower his defenses and step into the light of genuine connection. Together, they begin a new dance, one that requires practice and patience, but promises a rhythm that resonates with both their hearts. It's a dance where steps are not dictated by fear, but guided by trust and mutual understanding. In time, the push-pull becomes less of a tug-of-war and more of a gentle ebb and flow, a harmonious movement where both partners feel seen, heard, and valued. Ah, but let us not forget the importance of self-awareness in this grand tale. For Jonathan, it is a journey of introspection, of looking into the mirror and acknowledging the reflections of his past. It is about embracing the parts of himself he has long hidden, allowing them to surface with vulnerability and grace. It is about learning to speak the language of emotions, a dialect he once deemed foreign but now seeks to understand. For Clara, it is a journey of self-discovery as well, of understanding her own needs and boundaries. She learns that her worth is not measured by another's capacity to love her, but by her own ability to cherish herself. She finds strength in solitude, empowerment in independence, and in doing so, offers a love that is grounded in authenticity rather than dependency. In the end, my dear listeners, the journey of understanding the avoidance push-pull dance is not about changing the steps of another, but about embracing the dance of self-exploration and growth. It is a story of transformation, where both partners learn to dance not in perfect synchrony, but in harmonious understanding. And so, as we draw the curtains on this tale, let us remember that every story, like every dance, holds the promise of a new beginning, a chance to step forward with courage, to embrace vulnerability with open arms, and to find connection not in spite of our differences, but because of them.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.